guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new or simply not yet subscribed, I'm Brittany, and definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button for me. I have my Ravenclaw Tri-Wizard Cup shirt on, or jersey. It's more just like a long sleeve. But I am curious what your guys' house is. So obviously, I'm Ravenclaw. I'm very proud of it. So comment down below what your Harry Potter house is. So today we're going to be talking about Big Red Eye. Now this creature kind of resembles Bigfoot, which I don't think Bigfoot really needs any introduction or explanation. I'd be really surprised to meet somebody that's not a child that doesn't know what Bigfoot is. But Big Red Eye is this large creature walking on two legs. And, you know, it's covered head to toe in long hair. The biggest thing about this creature is the glowing red eyes. Now, over a period of 2 weeks in 1977, there was these strange moaning sounds and these like really loud, terrifying screams that would fill the night along Wolf Pit Road in Sussex County. And it always started around 2 a.m. And these noises would go from 2 a.m. until dawn. They were constant and lasted 4 hours. The noises sounded like a huge primate. And this person said that they had the windows open so they could hear it really well, and it would wake them up out of the sound sleep. But they couldn't really tell what direction the screams or whatever were coming from. So they went and they called their friends and was like, hey, do you hear that? And their house was about a quarter of a mile away. Their friend said that it went on for such a long time, an hour, and that it was, quote, it was horrible, just this horrible, blood-curdling wailing sound. I've never heard anything like it before. I've heard coyotes, bears, and foxes, and it wasn't like anything. It was this low, guttural sound. It went right through you. So another witness that night said that it was around 2:30 a.m. and they just got home from work. They heard this low moaning noise, kind of a cry, but that it was hard to tell where it was coming from. And this area is very wooded, but they knew that it definitely was not a person. That this creature had to have been big by how loud the noises were. Now, the only evidence that was left after these occurrences were a few overturned garbage cans. There were no footprints, but that could have been due to the fact that the ground wasn't really soft. There was a witness that recalled an encounter back in 1996 when she and a friend were walking along Layton Road, and they encountered the creature nearing the side of the road. She said, I knew it wasn't a bear. It was too lean and upright. It was humanoid. It had been there the whole time watching our approach. There was no noise. Otherwise, we would have heard something that big crashing through all the underbrush. It was tall and shaggy with red eyes. The eyes were glowing red from reflected light, not glowing like LED lights, which a lot of animals, if you shine a light at their eyes, the pupil will turn red. She said it didn't seem to have any bad intentions. It was just creepy. Then, of course, we ran and we did not look back. I don't care what anyone says. I know what I saw. That is something you don't forget. I definitely did not go back to that spot anytime soon. Then it goes on to say, after some digging through old newspaper clippings at the library, I found more info on past Bigfoot sightings, such as 2 men encountering a shaggy creature being attacked by 2 dogs in Haynesville Swamp. Also in 1975, a forest ranger walking along a Sussex County trail encountered a creature about 8 feet tall with big red eyes. A friend of mine tells me that the Big Red Eye is infamous for his run-ins with High Point State Park rangers. He also tells me that is where the name Big Red Eye comes from. I have lived in Sussex County for nearly my whole life and never heard people talk about Bigfoot. But you mentioned the name Big Red Eye, and you would be surprised how many people have seen him or heard of someone who has. Another encounter states, I have recently moved to Sussex County less than a year ago. I was surprised to hear of such a thing as the Big Red Eye. I was on my way home from the dentist and was getting ready to pull in my driveway when I noticed a figure of a tall man, maybe 7 feet tall, and it seemed to be very hairy. I didn't pay any attention at first because I thought it was just a deer. 7 feet tall, a deer? Very hairy, a deer. I mean, yes, obviously deer have hair, but I wouldn't describe them as very hairy. Anyways, but as I got closer, I could see it was something far bigger. Although I did not see big red eyes, I did hear some kind of howling or growling in the distance, which I guess could have been a bear. I know one thing, I'll never go outside when it's dark around here when I'm alone. Another encounter, it says, my wife and I lived in Westwood now, but we're formerly from Mahwah. One night early last summer, we were walking our dog in our condo development and heard the guttural sound that scared us so much that we called the police. I've heard just about every animal noise imaginable, and I've got to tell you, this was the strangest thing I've ever heard. It wasn't a dog or a bear, but it was big and angry and had red eyes. I estimate it was roughly 30 yards from us. We were standing by a street light on the sidewalk. I told my wife to pick up the dog and go into the street and walk home slowly. I was shaking in my boots as I slowly backed up, keeping my eyes on the brush. We made it home and called the police, not once but twice, to find out what the thing was. They investigated but found nothing. To this day, my wife and I wonder what it was. And the last encounter I have is, I am originally from Hamburg, New Jersey, born and bred in Sussex County. I now live in Savannah, Georgia. About 8 years ago, I had a very vivid encounter with the Big Red Eye. I was driving along Route 517 and decided to take the shortcut into Scenic Lakes where I lived. The road was simply referred to as the Dirt Road, though later I found out its official name was Shady Lane. The two very descriptive names suggest that it's a creepy road to drive on. I was halfway to the end of the road when I saw this awkward-looking bear saunter across the road. Naturally, I stopped the car and the creature stopped too. He looked at me for a few seconds, probably the longest few seconds of my life, and sort of lumbered off into the thick woods. The strange thing was that the creature's eyes were red, and I could see the whites in the corner of them. I was so scared that I booked it home. No kidding. So Big Red Eye definitely seems like a Bigfoot or something of that variant. I definitely believe in Bigfoot. There's just way too many sightings for something not to exist of that nature. Bigfoot just kind of seems like a more humanoid ape. But it doesn't seem like this creature wants to cause any harm, kind of just curious in nature. And it's interesting that, you know, you mentioned Bigfoot there and they're like, oh, like there's no Bigfoot. But then you mentioned like Big Red Eye and they're like, oh yeah, like I have a story to tell you. If any of you are from New Jersey, I would love to hear if you have encountered or have any stories. You can put them in the comments or you can go ahead and email me. But make sure to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and until next time, I love you guys. Bye.